Hello everyone, we are back with another episode. So, this episode is about scientific revolution. Let's start with an introduction to scientific revolution. Human history is framed as a series of events and episodes representing sudden ruptures of knowledge. For examples of the scientific periods where it was expected to move the innovations to a certain extent where it was not done in the previous periods. It leads to the world it's lead the world to sudden shakeups in science, technology, philosophy, and literature. Scientific revolution was taken place at the beginning of the 17th century. It has influenced the drastic changes to European approach towards science. Here, the term science and the term revolution indicates a period where there was turmoil and social upheaval in the ideas about the world changed rigorously, and it was marked as the beginning of a new era of academic considerations. The scientific philosophy, which was introduced by the medieval philosophers, were abandoned in favor of new methods proposed by Francis Bacon, Galileo Galilei, Rene Descartes, and Isaac Newton. It was started to lose the hegemonic control of the church on the masses. The Renaissance occurred with uh, spearheading a new awareness in the context of arts and literature, led the world on the way to a shift towards independent rationale. Literacy expanded and old ideas were re-examined by the readers with the invention of the printing press. So, scientific revolution is one of the notable moments among all the other historical events. Within scientific revolution, there are several drastic changes that were taking place. One of them is the Copernican revolution. Nicholas Copernicus is the person who was very much contributed to this revolutionary idea. He was a Renaissance person as he came to northern Italy for higher education. He was mastered in almost all the subjects and knowledgeable in every field. Copernican revolution can be defined as the paradigm shift which was taken place from Ptolemaic model of the heavens, which defined the cosmos as having Earth at the center of the universe. That means the geocentric model, to the heliocentric model, which says that the sun as having the center of the solar system. This revolution continued until Isaac Newton's publications. From the publication of Copernicus, The Revolution of the Heavenly Spheres. The official idea of the church was based on geocentrism. However, Copernicus, being a priest, came up with the idea of heliocentric model. So let's move to the Ptolemaic model of the universe. People believed in the Ptolemaic model of planetary motion, which can be defined as a new view of the universe in which the Earth was at the center up until Copernicus. It has been believed that if this model has been validated, Ptolemy was able to give explanations to both moving planets and for retrograde motion. He used several complicated theories and calculations through mathematics and astronomy, and he precisely calculated the paths of the moon and sun and the other planets in the planetary system and wrote a book entitled The Mathematical Compilation. However, some astronomers started discrediting this work and make the preliminary movement away from the ideas of Ptolemy. However, Ptolemaic view has been followed for over 1,000 years, although his theory has been disapproved and like disproved. So when it comes to the Copernican model of the universe. Copernicus made a claim of the cosmos by revolving the earth from the center of the universe and place heavenly bodies in revolving around the sun. He also introduced the theory of the daily rotation of the earth in its own axis, the day and night courses as the result of it. There are several other points that claimed by Copernicus. They can be listed like this. All heavenly bodies do not move around the same center. Earth is not the center of the universe, it's the center only of the moon's orbit and terrestrial gravity. Sun is the center of the universe and the planetary system. The retrograde views of the planets are due to the Earth moving around the sun. If you look at the sky, it's possible to see that the planets go over uh, straight and stay at a point and go over again because of this relative motion. The motto of the book says mathematicians only. The person who published this says in the preface that this is only a method of calculation, but this is not physically true. So this is a point that the church did not um, disagree with his publication. Otherwise, the heliocentric model is a direct opposition to what the church says. So let's move to the other one. So before that, I'll just explain how this Copernican revolution lays the methodological foundation for the development of modern science. Although the Copernican revolution is named by the name of Copernicus, it was not the end of this revolution. The revolution was started by Copernicus by disproving the Ptolemaic model, which was accepted more than 1,000 years, influenced other people to go beyond what the traditional scientists believe. Actually, the ideas generated by the Copernicus revolution led a revolution to one's ideas in relation towards the views of the universe. The methodological foundation which was laid by Copernican revolution has affected to the development of modern science and several influential figures were involved in that progress. So Francis Bacon was the first scientific methodologist to lay the methodological foundation in the period of Copernican revolution. He says that there is only a less possibility to extract truth via thinking, but it's possible to extract truth via sense, perception, and experiences. He emphasized the need of experimental methods to illustrate. He says that the, it's it's impossible to find the phenomena in the world only by reason, but by observations and experiments. Not only him, but also Descartes was also searching for a method of science. Although to them, according to them, their earlier system was fallen due to not having a precise method. Therefore, both philosophers were looking for a new method to build knowledge, but both of them used different methods. Bacon used empirical observations, whereas Descartes used reason as the source of knowledge. There was another source of knowledge at that time that was the authority. Luther accused Copernicus with the following statement: as Copernicus has tried to go beyond what the church says. He says to Copernicus that who is this man going behind what the Bible says? Even there were some people who have accepted the traditional beliefs and authority. Therefore, Bacon wanted us to get rid of all the idols, social intercourse, clan, theater views, belief systems, etc. Descartes also says the same thing as doubt everything to build new knowledge. Although Bacon was the first to point out the inductive method, he adopted it from Galileo. Here, Bacon emphasized the significance of synthesizing both the craftsmen the lower strata of the society, but they had practical and technical knowledge, and scholars who came from higher classes and had scholarly theoretical knowledge. According to him, craftsmen are similar to ants, and the scholars are like the spiders that create their own web. There was not any integration between both groups. Bacon says those integrators are like bees who integrate these two with their own method and efforts to create new stuff. Bacon was just a theoretician, but Galileo practically used these methods. He was a person who combined both mathematical knowledge and technical knowledge. He integrated both rational and empirical knowledge. So, synthesizing both the craftsmen and scholars is the most important outcome of Copernican revolution to the modern science, because almost every technological development occurs as a result of making connection between craftsmen and scholars. The various improvements in the development of telephone, television, internet facility, vehicles, spacecrafts, and other technological advancements have been able to achieve because of the combination of both craftsmen and scholars. If both the craftsmen and scholars did not make any integration, then their knowledge will not be synthesized in order to make new outcomes. So let's move to the other one. The foundation was laid to new sources of knowledge after Bacon. Although Bacon emphasized the methodology of the scientist theoretically, Galileo is a person who practically used them. Galileo was expressing physical laws in terms of mathematics. This mathematization of physics leads the direction towards mathematization of science. I repeat, this mathematization of physics leads the direction towards mathematization of science. This is the reason that modern science developed fast. He used both inductive and deductive methods. For instance, he came to the idea of a parabolic path of a projectile through mathematical calculations. Galileo came up with experimental science. He looked at the sky through telescope and saw the phases of moon through this telescope. Therefore, he convinced that the evidences gained from telescope were supporting the heliocentric theory, but he did not speak out as he did not have empirical evidences. He had only the empirical evidences gained from the telescope. The church said that the Copernican system is a better way of calculation, but it's not the reality. In contrast, Galileo said that the evidences of Copernican theory can be seen through the senses, through eyes. But he was accused by the church for using telescope as it was defined in terms of magical evidences. Galileo's innovation of the telescope leads human beings for a new period of science. He went beyond the naked eye observations with the innovation of telescope. He has influenced the innovation of spectacles and lenses in modern period. So yeah, then Kepler was the person who completed the idea of heliocentrism. He started working with Tycho de Brahe, observed data after Brahe died. He was trying to figure out the curve of the planets. He was looking for a mathematical curve. After 7 years of struggle, he found the planets move in an ellipse. As a result, since knowledge becomes a main source of knowledge, but earlier it was condemned because sense knowledge is not a reliable source and it was not stable. Knowledge was assumed to be solid, stable, and reliable. Experiments and observations came into the modern field with innovations. So Although the Copernican revolution is named by the name of Copernicus, it was not the end of this revolution. The revolution, which was started by Copernicus by disproving the Ptolemaic model, which was accepted more than 1,000 years, influenced other people to go beyond what the traditional scientists believe. Actually, the ideas generated by the Copernicus revolution led a revolutionary change to one's ideas in relation to the views of the universe. Actually, this is on the first part of the series on scientific revolution. Hope this will be helpful for you guys to get an introductory idea about scientific revolution. So don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. You'll be able to get more videos in philosophical topics in future. So until next time, goodbye. Stay safe.